Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So I'm very thankful to all of you who are here, who made it to our meeting this evening of the York NAACP. Please also be reminded that our meetings are every fourth Tuesday at 6:30 at Crispus Attucks here at 605 South Duke Street. So hopefully we'll also see you in May. We, as you see, are videotaping. The plan for today, because these candidates were so gracious to respond to our last-minute requests, the plan for today is that they each would give about a 5-minute presentation. And I did ask them to consider the issues that are important to us as an organization. So if you have a pressing question, because we weren't really going to go back question and answer, but if you do have a pressing question at the end of, say for instance, the 10th Congressional District candidates, then raise your hand so we'll know. But otherwise, what we were thinking is this was a meet and greet. There's some snacks over to my right. Please help yourself too. But after they give their stump speeches, that you can have some personal interaction with these candidates. Because sometimes what they say at the podium doesn't always show who they are as a person. And one of the things that I absolutely know is you're putting people in those positions and you need to know who they are. And know whether or not they have your interests at heart, whether or not they will be serving you or some other interests. So we want you to vote. And we want you to be informed voters, because we understand that the more you know, the more willing you are to go out to vote and speak to others about voting.
Good evening, everyone. I was about to say good evening, church, because I saw a pastor sitting there and got a little confused, but all right, I'll just say good evening, everyone. So my name is Shavonnia Corbin-Johnson, and I'm running for the 10th Congressional District to take out Scott Perry in 2018. What I want to do tonight is give you a little bit of background about myself, talk about the policy points I want to address, and then answer the question that Sandra Thompson asked us all to address tonight. So I'm from here. I'm from right here, York City, born and raised. The second day I was born, my mother actually gave me to a foster family. And I lived with that foster family until I hit 2 years old. By the time I hit 2 years old, my paternal grandparents found out about me, and they wanted custody of me, but so did my foster family. And so they went to court. And what the courts ruled is that I would spend 1 week with my mother, 1 week with my father, 1 week with my foster family, and 1 week with my grandparents until the age of 10. So from 2 to 10, nearly 8 years, I went week to a different family until time I hit 10 years old, my paternal grandparents got full custody of me. My grandmother, Reverend Roberta Johnson, has been doing prison ministry work for the past 35 years, and my grandfather was a World War II veteran, fought in Battle of the Bulge. So I knew deep inside me there was some service gene, but I wasn't sure exactly what type of service. Fast forward a few years, I got an amazing opportunity and scholarship to attend Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., where I did my bachelor's degree. Senator Casey, the Democratic senator, came my sophomore year there, and I walked up to him and I said, "Sir, you don't know me, but I'm a first-generation college student from York, Pennsylvania, and I want to intern for you." And it worked. And I got an internship with the senator, graduated Georgetown 2 years later, and began my master's degree at George Washington University, where I studied U.S. foreign policy in India, Pakistan, and the Middle East, and I now speak about 5 languages. And while doing my master's full-time, I got a call from Senator Casey, and he said, "You were a good intern 2 years ago, come work for my office full-time," and I did. And I went to work for him doing immigration issues, education, judiciary, LGBT, and criminal justice issues, making sure that those who are entrapped by the criminal system are brought back into society and no longer isolated as they are now. And that's something I want to address once I get to Capitol Hill again. But while working for the senator, I got another phone call, and I answered it, and they said, "Shavonnia, this is the White House." And I said, "Oh, let me get the senator for you." And they said, actually, we want to speak with you. We heard good things about you from Senator Casey and from his office, and we want you to come work for the Obama administration. And so I did, and I went to work for President Obama, where I served as advisor and assistant to the director of the Office of Management and Budget. So imagine growing up in York, Pennsylvania, on and sometimes below the poverty line, and now you are the right hand to the man in charge of the $4.1 trillion budget. And so as my time there ended and as the new administration moved in, I thought of what I wanted to do next with my education and with the skills that I gained. And I knew right away that I wanted to give it back to my community. And so I threw my hat into the race to get rid of Scott Perry in this upcoming 2018 election. I wanted to make sure that we had a representative who was going to fight for education, making sure we get good public education here in the area, making sure the kids and the teachers have the resources they need to be successful and to live long lives. And I also wanted to make sure that we fight for Medicare and for health care for all, ensuring that people of the 10th District no longer have to choose between paying for their prescription or being able to feed their children, or affording their hospital bill at the end of the day, or being able to pay their rent. And I also want to fight for Social Security and fight for pensions for people in this district. Scott Perry, our current representative, is working to privatize Social Security and working to get rid of pensions. But the funny thing is, if he wins this next election, he himself will have 4 government pensions while he's working to get rid of pensions from everyone else. And I also want to make sure we bring in good jobs that pay a livable wage and not the current $7.25 minimum wage we have here in Pennsylvania. And I want to make sure that the jobs we bring in are full-time jobs and not the part-time jobs that so many here have to settle for. And with all these policy points and with the upcoming election up ahead, the most challenging part, I will say, about running for office is actually not the policy, but it's actually being an African-American woman running for office in this district. And you would be surprised how many people already automatically turn off my candidacy because of the race or because of the gender I am. And what I want to tell people here is that this is just not something that's national, but it's also something here in the Pennsylvania 10th Congressional District that we have seen and that many of us have contended, like myself, in our everyday lives. And what I have come to realize is that you can't legislate away hate, but what you can do is you can learn that representation matters. And Pennsylvania has never elected a female African-American woman congresswoman, and we only ever have one man serving as congressman today. So I'm here to bring change and to ensure that everyone in Pennsylvania 10 has a voice on Capitol Hill, regardless of race, religion, sex, sexual orientation. We should all have a right to have our values represented in DC. And I'm here and I'm the candidate for that. So thank you very much.